She was 19 the morning they dressed her like a bride, though nothing about the day felt like celebration. The village women whispered, as they tightened the red fabric around her, trembling hands, their eyes avoiding her face as if fear itself might be contagious. Outside, drums beat slowly, not with joy but with duty. Her name was Alia, and she had begged her father until her throat burned. But debts are louder than tears in small towns, where honor is sold quietly behind closed doors. The man she was to marry had a reputation that traveled faster than truth silent, cold, wealthy, and dangerous. People said he never smiled. People said his temper ruined men. People said he agreed to this marriage only because her father owed him money that could never be repaid. As she sat beneath the veil, Alia's heart pounded not with love but with terror, every step toward the ceremony feeling like a step toward a locked door. When she finally saw him standing at the altar, tall and unreadable in dark clothes, she couldn't lift her eyes for long. His name was Zion. He did not look at her like a prize, nor like a burden. He barely looked at her at all. That scared her more than anger ever could. The vows passed like a storm overhead, loud yet distant, and when it was done, the village celebrated a union she felt trapped inside. That night, in the large unfamiliar house that echoed with silence, Alia waited for fear to become reality. But Zion did not enter her room. He left food outside her door and a single sentence spoken through the wood. "You are safe here." She did not sleep. She watched shadows crawl across the walls, waiting for the man everyone warned her about. Days passed, and Zion remained distant yet respectful. He never raised his voice. He never forced conversation. Still, fear does not vanish simply because danger pauses. In the village, gossip grew. Why had he married her if not to control her? Why did he stay away? Alia felt like an object locked in a glass box, watched by everyone, understood by no one. And yet, somewhere beneath the fear, confusion began to grow. What kind of man buys a bride only to give her space? What kind of husband hides his power instead of using it? As the first week ended, Alia realized something unsettling. The man she feared most was also the only one who hadn't hurt her, and that truth frightened her more than all the rumors combined. The second week of marriage brought whispers louder than drums. Villagers watched every move Alia made, counting steps, measuring bruises that never appeared. Women pretended concern while fishing for scandal. Men speculated over tea about how long kindness could last. Inside the house, Zion remained a mystery wrapped in routine. He woke before sunrise, worked in silence, returned before dark, and never entered her room uninvited. Sometimes he asked if she needed anything, his voice calm and distant, as if he were speaking to a guest rather than a wife. Alia didn't know what to do with such restraint. She had prepared herself for cruelty, not consideration. Slowly, fear shifted into vigilance. She observed him the way wounded animals watch humans ready to flee at the slightest threat. One evening, when rain trapped them inside, she finally spoke more than a few words. She asked why he married her. Zion paused longer than expected, then answered honestly. He said her father's debt had already destroyed the man's pride, and forcing repayment would have destroyed his life. Marriage was the only way the village would accept forgiveness without humiliation. Alia's breath caught. She had been traded not as punishment, but as protection. Still, questions remained. Why her? Why this life? Over time, small truths surfaced. Zion funded the village school in secret. He paid medical bills anonymously. He employed men others refused to hire. The reputation he carried had been built. Deliberately, fear kept predators away from those he protected. When Alia discovered this, something inside her cracked open. The man she feared was not cruel. He was careful. And yet, despite the growing respect, she felt trapped by circumstance. Kindness does not erase choice. Zion seemed to understand that. One night, he told her she could leave whenever she wished. The marriage contract, he said, was only paper. Freedom was hers if she wanted it. That offer shook her more than a threat ever could. For the first time, Alia saw not a captor, but a man burdened by responsibility, carrying the weight of others' survival. The village continued to watch, waiting for scandal, waiting for pain. Instead, they saw change. Alia walked taller. She laughed softly sometimes. Fear loosened its grip. And Zion, he remained steady, quiet, respectful. On the eve of the town's annual gathering, a celebration, everyone attended. Alia overheard rumors of a wedding gift Zion planned to present publicly. Some said it was land, others claimed gold. Many believed it would finally reveal his true intentions. Alia herself did not know, but for the first time since she was 19 and forced into silk, she did not choose. She felt curiosity instead of dread. And in stories like this, curiosity is the beginning of transformation. The town gathered beneath open skies, banners fluttering, eyes sharp with expectation. Weddings in the village were rarely private affairs, and this one had been delayed long enough to become legend. People wanted proof of control, proof of wealth, proof that fear had been justified. Alia stood beside Zion, her hands steady now, her heart no longer racing with panic but pounding with anticipation. When the elder called for the wedding gift, silence fell like a held breath. Zion stepped forward, his voice calm but carrying across the crowd. He did not present gold. He did not unveil land. Instead, he handed Alia a document and spoke words that stunned the town into stillness. The gift was her freedom, the house, the property, the income. It was all placed in her name, not as ownership over her, but ownership for her. He told the village she had entered this marriage without choice, and no woman should live a life decided by fear. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some were shocked, some were ashamed, others were inspired. Zion turned to Alia and said she could leave that very day, with dignity intact and future secure. Tears filled her eyes, not from sorrow, but from something she had never been given before: respect. In that moment, the story the village believed shattered. The feared man revealed himself as a guardian. The forced bride stood as a woman with power. And Alia made a choice no one expected. She stayed, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. Love did not arrive like thunder. It arrived like dawn, quietly, undeniably. The town changed after that day. Girls spoke louder, fathers listened longer, and Alia's story traveled far beyond the village, reminding people that true strength is gentle, that kindness can wear intimidating faces, and that the greatest gifts are not chains but choices. As the story ends, it leaves viewers with a truth worth carrying. And if stories like this move your heart, remind them to subscribe to the channel Heart and Kindness, where powerful stories of humanity, respect, and transformation are told, one soul at a time.